The stars looked different from the bridge of the Federation flagship Eternal Dominion. Admiral Thexvar had seen thousands of worlds surrender beneath those same stars. Today would be no different. Report, he commanded, his forearms folded behind his massive frame. The bridge crew of various alien species worked quietly at their stations. Sir, the scouts have returned from the Rim sector, announced Communications Officer Veltar. They found another world. The species calls itself human, and their planet Earth. Thexvar nodded. It was always the same. New species thought they were special. They thought their little corner of space made them safe. They were always wrong. Standard protocol then, Thexvar said. Send the message. On Earth, President Kang Minho sat in the Global Defense Council chambers in Seoul. The room was quiet except for the soft hum of computers. Around the large table sat the most important people on Earth. Defense Minister Park Subin reviewed reports on her tablet. Admiral Lee Do-yoon of the Terran Navy studied star charts. Chief Science Officer Dr. Yoon Ji-soo checked her calculations for the third time. The main screen flickered to life. An alien face appeared, tall with blue-gray skin and 4 glowing eyes. When it spoke, the translation software made its words clear and cold. I am Ambassador Veltar of the Galactic Federation. Your species has been discovered. You have 30 of your days to make a choice. Submit to Federation rule and accept our protection, or we will destroy your world. This is how it has always been. This is how it will always be. We have destroyed 847 civilizations who refused our generous offer. Do not be the 848th. The screen went black. Silence filled the room. Park Subin looked up from her tablet. Admiral Lee set down his star charts. Dr. Yoon stopped typing. President Minho leaned back in his chair. Well, he said calmly, that was rude. Sir, Admiral Lee began, our fleet counts show we have maybe 200 ships ready for combat. Intelligence suggests the Federation has thousands. We can't fight them with traditional tactics. Who said anything about fighting them traditionally? Minho asked. He turned to Dr. Yoon. Doctor, how is our special project coming along? Dr. Yoon smiled for the first time in weeks. The Indomitable launched yesterday, sir. Captain Kim Ha-jun and his crew are on schedule. They should reach the construction zone in 28 days. Perfect timing, Minho said. Send word to all our colonies and stations. Business as usual. Children go to school. Adults go to work. We wait, Defense Minister Park frowned. Sir, shouldn't we evacuate the cities? Build shelters? The people need to know what's coming. The people need to trust us, Minho replied. And they need to live their lives. Fear helps no one right now. Far above Earth, Federation spy satellites watched and listened. In the intelligence center of the Eternal Dominion, analyst Prime Kextoon studied the reports with growing confusion. Sir, he called to Admiral Thexvar, the humans have done something strange. Define strange, Thexvar said without looking up from his tactical displays. They launched exactly one ship, sir. Just one. Our sensors tracked it leaving their system yesterday. Thexvar finally looked up. One ship? Are you certain? Yes, sir. Length approximately 800 meters. Crew of maybe 200. It's heading toward the neutral zone, not toward us or away from us, just somewhere else. What about their planet? Evacuations? Military buildup? Panic? Kexton checked his reports again. Nothing, sir. Their cities show normal activity patterns. Children are attending schools. Their leader gave a speech about maintaining daily routines during uncertain times. They're acting like nothing happened. Admiral Thexvar laughed. It was a deep rumbling sound that made the bridge crew nervous. They think one ship will save them. They think we'll negotiate with one ship. Perhaps they don't understand our capabilities, suggested Fleet Commander Zalneth. Then they'll learn, Thexvar said. Order the fleet to assemble at standard distance from their world. 500 ships. Let them see what real power looks like. Aboard the TES Indomitable, Captain Kim Ha-jun reviewed the mission parameters one more time. His ship was unlike anything humans had ever built before. From the outside, it looked like a large military vessel. Inside, it held secrets that would change everything. Captain, called Navigation Officer Lieutenant Bae Hyun-woo from his station. We're approaching the construction coordinates. Excellent. Chief Ryu, how are our systems? Engineer Chief Ryu Taeyong checked his displays. All green, sir. The fabrication systems are ready. The resource collectors are online. We're as ready as we'll ever be. Captain Kim looked around his bridge. His crew had trained for this mission their entire careers. Weapons Officer Commander Nam Unji sat ready at her station, though her weapons were unlike any others in space. Medical Officer Dr. Song Ariam prepared her teams for what was coming. These people had volunteered for the most dangerous mission in human history. Communications, Kim said. Any word from home? Standard diplomatic messages, sir, replied Chief Petty Officer Park Jahoon. The Federation is demanding surrender. President Minho is refusing politely. Everything according to plan. Back on Earth, life continued as normal. In a classroom in Seoul, teacher Miss Cho Yuri taught her students about human history. Young Han Sola raised her hand. Teacher, my mother says aliens want to hurt us. Is that true? Miss Cho smiled gently. Sola, sometimes people we don't know seem scary at first. But our leaders are very smart. They have a plan. What kind of plan? The kind that shows everyone that humans are good at solving problems. In space, the Federation fleet continued to grow. Ships arrived from a dozen different star systems. Species that had been enemies for centuries now served together under Federation rule. They had learned that resistance was pointless. Admiral Thexvar stood on his bridge watching Earth grow larger on the main screen. Signal the human government, he ordered. Tell them our fleet has arrived. Tell them they have 1 day to surrender. The message reached Earth within minutes. President Minho read it privately, then walked to his window. Outside, Seoul continued its daily rhythm. People walked to work. Children played in parks. The sky was blue and peaceful. His aide knocked and entered. Sir, the Federation Admiral is demanding an immediate response. Tell him we're still considering his offer, Minho said calmly. Sir, tell him exactly that. We're considering it. Light years away, Captain Kim Ha-jun received a coded message from Earth, just 2 words. Begin construction. Kim turned to his crew. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to show the galaxy what humans can really do. Chief Ryu, initiate the protocols. Yes, sir, Ryu replied, his hands moving over his controls. Beginning transformation sequence. The Indomitable began to change. What the Federation thought they knew about human technology was about to become very, very wrong. The Federation Intelligence Center buzzed with activity. Screens showed data streams from hundreds of spy satellites and sensor networks. Analyst Prime Kexdun had not slept in 2 days. Something about the humans bothered him, and he could not figure out what. Show me the Earth scans again, he told his assistant. The main display lit up with images of Earth. Cities glowed with normal activity. Space elevators moved cargo up and down. Orbital stations continued their regular work. Everything looked perfectly normal. Sir, said Junior Analyst Hevron, we've been watching for 25 days now. No military buildup, no evacuation plans, no signs of panic. It's like they don't understand what's about to happen. Kexdun studied the data. What about their single ship? The one they sent into the neutral zone? Still there, sir. It reached some empty coordinates and stopped. Our long-range sensors show it's just sitting there. Sitting there doing what? Unknown, sir. The ship is emitting standard power signatures, but we can't get detailed scans from this distance. Should we send a reconnaissance probe? Admiral Thexvar entered the intelligence center before Kexadun could answer. Report on the human situation, he commanded. Sir, they continue to puzzle us, Kexton said honestly. Their behavior doesn't match any pattern in our databases. When we threaten other species, they respond predictably. They build defenses, evacuate populations, or surrender immediately. The humans are doing none of these things. Because they're primitives who don't understand superior technology, Thexvar said with certainty. What about their military? That's part of the puzzle, sir. They have maybe 200 combat-capable ships scattered throughout their system. All are accounted for. None have moved to defensive positions. It's as if they've accepted defeat without trying. Thexvar nodded. Good. The easier the conquest, the fewer resources we waste. What about that single ship they launched? It concerns me, sir, Kextun admitted. Why send just one ship? Where is it going? What is its purpose? One ship cannot threaten a Federation fleet, Thexvar said firmly. Focus your attention on the planet. I want to know about their defenses, their population centers, their infrastructure. We'll deal with their little ship after we secure their world. On Earth, life continued with strange normalcy. Captain Oh Seung-won commanded Earth's Orbital Defense Command from a station high above the Pacific Ocean. His staff monitored Federation fleet movements and reported everything to Earth's government, sir. called Lieutenant No Jiwan from her communications post. The Federation fleet now numbers 500 ships. They're maintaining standard blockade formation. Any changes in their behavior? Oh asked. No, sir. They seem to be waiting for something. Maybe our surrender? Oh smiled grimly. They'll be waiting a long time. Below on Earth, people went about their daily lives with remarkable calm. In Seoul, teacher Miss Cho Yuri taught her students about the solar system. Young Han Sola raised her hand again. Teacher, are the aliens still coming? Yes, Sola. But remember what we talked about yesterday? Our leaders have a plan. When will we see the plan? Soon, I think. Very soon. Miss Cho was right. In space, the Tess Indomitable had been busy for 3 weeks. What the Federation saw as one ship sitting motionless was actually the most advanced construction project in human history. Captain Kim Ha-jun stood in what used to be the ship's main cargo bay. Now it stretched out like a giant factory floor. Machines worked constantly, building and assembling. The air hummed with energy and purpose. Status report, Chief, Kim said to engineer Ryu Taeyong. Construction proceeding on schedule, sir, Ryu replied, checking his tablet. We've processed 847 asteroids and collected 12 billion tons of raw materials. The main assembly lines are producing one complete hull every 37 minutes. Weapon systems? Commander Nam has finished the targeting computers for the first batch, Ryu said. Each ship will be equipped with our latest electromagnetic pulse weapons and precision boarding systems. Captain Kim nodded. When the humans decided to build a fleet, they didn't just copy existing designs. Dr. Yoon and Earth's best scientists had spent decades developing new weapons and tactics. Each ship being built in the factory was designed for a specific purpose. Medical facilities? Kim asked. Dr. Song has equipped each vessel with full surgical capabilities, Ryu reported. Not for our crews, sir. For theirs, Kim smiled. That was very human thinking. While other species focused on destroying enemies, humans focused on winning conflicts with minimum loss of life. It was a strategy that confused most aliens. Navigation Officer Lieutenant Bae Hyunwoo approached with a new report. Captain, we're receiving coded transmissions from Earth. The Federation has demanded a final answer. What did President Minho tell them? He asked for more time to consider their generous offer. Kim laughed. Minho was buying them every hour he could. How much more time do we need, Chief? Ryu consulted his construction schedules. At current production rate, we'll have 50 ships ready in 4 days, 100 ships in 8 days. After that, production will accelerate as more assembly lines come online. Perfect. Continue construction. Back in Federation space, Admiral Thexvar grew impatient. How long do humans need to surrender? He demanded. It's a simple choice. Submit or die. Perhaps they're trying to evacuate their population, suggested Fleet Commander Zalneth. To where? We have sensors watching every ship in their system. No mass movements. No evacuation fleets, nothing. Analyst Kexdun entered with new reports. Sir, we've detected some unusual energy readings from that human ship in the neutral zone. What kind of readings? Unknown, sir. The signatures don't match anything in our databases. It's almost like construction activity. Thexvar turned sharply. Construction of what? We can't tell from this distance, sir. Should we investigate? No, Thexvar decided. Whatever they're building, one ship's worth of construction cannot threaten our fleet. Focus on the planet. Kexdun hesitated. Sir, I recommend caution. In 847 previous conquests, no species has ever behaved like this. The humans are doing something we don't understand. They're doing nothing because they can do nothing, Thexvar said firmly. Prepare the fleet for final assault. Tomorrow we end this. In the Indomitable's transformed factory, alarms began to sound. Not danger alarms, completion alarms. The first batch of ships was ready. Captain Kim watched through reinforced windows as the factory's great doors opened. One by one, sleek human warships emerged from the construction bays. Each ship was 300 meters long, crewed by sophisticated AI systems, and equipped with weapons designed by humanity's greatest military minds. Captain, called Communications Officer Park Ji-hoon, we're receiving priority signals from Earth. The Federation has issued a final ultimatum. How final? 12 hours, sir. After that, they attack. Kim looked at his growing fleet. 17 ships now floated around the factory, with more emerging every hour. Send a message to Admiral Lee on Earth. Tell him we're ready to begin Phase 2. Yes, sir. What about the Federation fleet? Kim considered. For weeks, the aliens had watched one human ship. They had no idea that ship had built 17 more. Soon they would learn something important about human warfare. Humans didn't just fight harder than other species. They fought smarter. "Open a channel to the Federation flagship," Kim ordered. "Sir?" Park looked surprised. "It's time to introduce ourselves properly." The communication reached Admiral Thexvar within minutes. For the first time since arriving at Earth, he heard directly from the crew of the mysterious human ship. "Greetings, Admiral Thexvar," came a calm voice. "This is Captain Kim Ha-jun of the Terran Earth ship Indomitable. I understand you've been wondering what we've been doing out here." Thexvar activated his reply channel. "Human Captain, you will surrender your vessel immediately and return to your world for evacuation." "I'm afraid that won't be possible, Admiral. You see, we've been rather busy these past few weeks. Perhaps you'd like to see what we've accomplished." Before Thexvar could respond, his sensor operators began shouting reports from across the bridge. "Sir, new contacts. Multiple ships decloaking around the human vessel." "How many ships?" Thexvar demanded. 17, sir." "Where did they come from?" On his screen, Admiral Thexvar watched 17 human warships arrange themselves in perfect formation around what he had thought was a single, helpless vessel. Each ship looked identical, purposeful, and completely unknown to Federation databases. Captain Kim's voice came through the speakers again, still perfectly calm. "Now then, Admiral, shall we discuss the terms of your withdrawal from Earth space?" Admiral Thexvar stared at his tactical display in disbelief. 17 human ships hung in space where moments before his sensors had shown only one. Around him, the bridge crew of the Eternal Dominion worked frantically to understand what they were seeing. "Sensor Chief," Thexvar barked. "Explain this immediately." "Sir, we don't understand," came the nervous reply. "Our instruments showed one ship. Now they show 18. The new vessels appear to be identical military designs, unknown configuration. Ships don't just appear from nothing." "No, sir, but these did." On Earth, President Mingo sat in his office watching the live feeds from deep space. Around him, his advisors watched the Federation fleet's confusion with satisfaction. "Dr. Yoon," he said quietly, "your people have outdone themselves." Dr. Yoon smiled tiredly. She had not slept well in months, not since the project began. "The construction platform exceeded all projections, sir. Captain Kim reports they can maintain production of one ship every 37 minutes indefinitely." "How many ships before the Federation understands what's happening?" "Unknown, sir. But I suspect we're about to find out." In space, Captain Kim Ha-jun opened communications channels to both the Federation fleet and Earth. "Admiral Thexvar, I believe we should speak honestly. Earth Command, please relay this conversation to President Mingo." "Human Captain." Thexvar's voice came through clearly. "Where did those ships come from?" "We built them, Admiral, here in the past 3 weeks." "Impossible. Our sensors would have detected a construction facility." Kim looked around his transformed ship. The Indomitable had unfolded from a single vessel into a manufacturing complex 50 kilometers across. Massive factories worked constantly, harvesting asteroids and assembling new warships with mechanical precision. "Admiral, you've been watching us build for weeks. Your sensors detected exactly what we wanted them to detect. You're telling me that one ship built 17 others? 18 others, actually. Number 19 is launching now." Through the observation windows, Kim watched another completed warship emerge from the construction base. Engineer Chief Ryu Taeyong had designed the most efficient production system in human history. Every piece of asteroid rock, every gram of metal, every unit of energy served the single purpose of building more ships. "This is impossible," Thexvar repeated. "Admiral, humans specialize in making impossible things routine. We've had some practice." On the Federation flagship, analyst Kexadoon worked desperately to understand the sensor data. "Sir," he called to Thexvar, "I'm analyzing the construction signatures. This isn't like anything in our databases." "Explain." "Sir, they're not building ships the way we build ships. They're growing them, like a living thing grows, but with metal and machines." Commander Zelnith joined the analysis. "Are you saying they're using biological technology?" "No, sir, it's still mechanical. But the process, it's like they feed raw materials into one end of a system, and complete warships come out the other end. I've never seen anything like it." Admiral Thexvar opened communications again. "Human Captain, I demand you explain your technology." "I'll do better than that," Kim replied. I'll show you. The Indomitable's factory complex lit up with millions of lights. Massive arms moved asteroids into processing stations. Refineries separated elements with perfect efficiency. Assembly lines worked with mechanical rhythm, each one building different parts of human warships. What you're seeing, Admiral, is human industrial doctrine applied to space warfare. We don't transport fleets across space. We build them where we need them. Dr. Song Ariam joined Captain Kim on the observation deck. Captain, medical facilities are ready on all ships. We can treat approximately 3,000 casualties without strain. Thank you, Doctor. Admiral Thexvar, you should know that every ship we build includes full medical facilities. We prefer to save lives rather than take them. Through the communication channel, they could hear confused discussions on the Federation bridge. Aliens arguing about impossible technology and unprecedented tactics. Human Captain, Thexvar finally said. Even if you build 100 ships, you cannot match our fleet of 500. Admiral, you're thinking about this wrong, Kim replied calmly. You brought 500 ships that took years to build and transport here. We can build 500 ships in 3 weeks using only the materials floating around us. The question isn't whether we can match your fleet. The question is how long you're willing to stay here while our fleet grows. Weapons Officer Commander Nam Yoonji approached with her tactical report. Captain, all ships are armed and ready. Each vessel carries our new electromagnetic pulse weapons, precision targeting systems, and non-lethal capture devices. Thank you, Commander. Kim returned to his communication with the Federation. Admiral, I should mention that our weapons are designed for precision rather than destruction. We can disable your ships without harming your crews. You're threatening us? Not at all, sir. I'm offering you information so you can make informed decisions. On Earth, Defense Minister Park Subin watched the space drama unfold from the Global Defense Center. Dr. Yoon, how many ships can the factory produce before running out of materials? Dr. Yoon checked her calculations. The asteroid belt in that region contains enough materials for approximately 2,000 ships, Minister. Of course, we can always move the factory to a new location if needed. Park nodded grimly. The Federation had no idea what they were facing. Back in space, Lieutenant Bei Hyanwoo reported new sensor contacts. Captain, the Federation fleet is moving into attack formation. As expected. Signal all ships, prepare for defensive operations. Around the factory complex, human warships arranged themselves with mathematical precision. Each ship knew its role, its targets, and its objectives. The tactics had been planned by Earth's greatest military minds and tested in thousands of computer simulations. Admiral Thexvar, Kim broadcast, are you certain you want to proceed with an attack? You have 24 ships against our 500. Surrender now and your crews will be treated according to Federation protocol. I appreciate the offer, Admiral, but I should mention that we now have 31 ships. Production hasn't stopped during our conversation. The Federation bridge erupted in confused voices. Sensor operators confirmed new contacts appearing around the human factory. Ships that had not existed an hour ago now hung in space, fully armed and operational. How is this possible? Thexvar demanded. Admiral, humans have been building things for thousands of years. We're quite good at it. But I think the real question you should ask is this. Why did Earth send only one ship to meet your fleet? I assume because you're primitives who don't understand warfare, Captain Kim laughed. Admiral, Earth sent one ship because one ship was enough. Not enough to fight you. Enough to build everything we needed to fight you. Chief Petty Officer Park Ji-hoon interrupted with an urgent message from Earth. Captain, President Mingo requests permission to address the Federation fleet directly. Granted. Open channels to Earth. President Mingo's voice reached both fleets clearly. Admiral Thexvar, this is President Mingo of Earth. I believe it's time for honest conversation. Human leader, your ships will surrender or be destroyed. Admiral, I don't think you understand the situation. Look at your sensors again. How many human ships do you count now? There was a long pause before Thexvar answered. 43 ships. That's 43 ships built in 3 weeks from asteroid rock and solar energy. Admiral, we can build ships faster than you can destroy them. The question isn't whether we can fight your fleet. The question is whether you can afford to fight us. In the Federation Intelligence Center, analyst Kexadun stared at projections showing human construction rates. Sir, he called to Admiral Thexvar, if these rates continue, they'll have 200 ships within 2 weeks, 500 ships within a month, all built from space debris? Yes, sir. They're not importing materials or reinforcements. They're literally growing a fleet from nothing. Admiral Thexvar realized he faced something completely outside Federation experience, an enemy that became stronger the longer you fought them, an enemy that turned empty space into military advantage. "Human captain," he said slowly. "What are your terms?" Captain Kim smiled. "Simple, Admiral. Leave Earth space. Never return with hostile intent. And we'll be happy to trade with the Federation as peaceful neighbors. And if we refuse, then we'll keep building ships until you change your mind." The Federation fleet hung motionless, facing a human fleet that grew larger every hour. For the first time in 847 conquests, Admiral Thexvar wondered if the Federation had made a terrible mistake. Admiral Thexvar stood in his private quarters, staring at tactical displays that made no sense. The human fleet now numbered 67 ships, and more appeared every few hours. His staff had run calculations dozens of times, but the numbers remained impossible. "Sir," came Fleet Commander Zalneth's voice through the intercom. "The ship captains are requesting guidance. Some crews are becoming concerned." "Concerned about what?" "They're still outnumbered." "Sir, it's not about numbers anymore. It's about what the humans are doing. Or rather, what they're not doing." Thexvar activated his communication panel. "Explain." "The humans haven't fired a single shot, sir. They haven't made any threats. They just keep building ships and talking to us." That was true. For the past 2 days, Captain Kim Hajun had maintained almost constant communication with the Federation fleet. Not demands or threats, but polite conversation about weather, food, family, and the difficulties of military service far from home. "Admiral," came Captain Kim's voice over the general communication channel, "I hope your evening shift is going well. Chef Park wanted me to ask if any of your crew members have dietary restrictions we should know about." Thexvar activated his response. "Why would you care about our dietary restrictions?" "Well, Admiral, we've been sharing space for several days now. It seems only polite to offer refreshments if this conversation continues much longer." From his observation deck, Kim watched the Federation fleet through powerful telescopes. He could see the ships maintaining their formation, but something had changed in the past 24 hours. The rigid military positioning was becoming less precise. "Dr. Song," he called to Medical Officer Song Aryam, "what's your assessment of Federation crew psychology?" Dr. Song consulted her notes. "Captain, we've been monitoring their communication patterns. Stress indicators are rising throughout their fleet. They're dealing with something they don't understand, and it's affecting morale." "Good. Continue the medical briefings." Dr. Song nodded and activated her broadcast equipment. For the past day, she had been transmitting basic medical information to Federation ships. Not military intelligence, just helpful health tips for crews serving in deep space. "Federation personnel, this is Dr. Song Aryam with your daily health update. Remember to maintain proper hydration during long watches. Your ship's recycling systems may not account for different species' water needs. Also, we've noticed some ships running temperature differentials that could cause respiratory issues for your Xerian crew members." On the Federation flagship, Medical Officer Velkoth listened to these broadcasts with growing confusion. "Sir," he reported to Admiral Thexvar, "the human medical officer is helping us." "What do you mean helping?" "Her recommendations about atmospheric settings have improved efficiency on 14 ships. The crew health report showed immediate improvements." Admiral Thexvar felt like the universe had stopped making sense. "They're giving us medical advice while we're preparing to destroy them?" "Yes, sir. Also, their engineers sent technical specifications for improving our power distribution systems." That was Chief Ryu Taeyong's contribution to psychological warfare. Every day he broadcast technical improvements for Federation ship systems, small modifications that would increase efficiency and reduce mechanical stress. "Federation engineers," came Ryu's voice over the communication channels. "We've noticed some of your ships are running plasma conduits at 94% capacity. This causes unnecessary wear on your systems. If you reroute through secondary channels and adjust the harmonic frequency by 0.3%, you can reduce power loss by 12% and extend component life by approximately 400 hours. On 17 different Federation ships, engineers tested the human recommendations. Every suggestion worked perfectly. "Captain Kim," Admiral Thexvar called during one of their regular conversations, "why are you helping our fleet operate more efficiently?" "Admiral, we're all military professionals here. Poor maintenance causes accidents, and accidents cause casualties. We'd rather not see anyone hurt over something preventable. You realize we're here to conquer your world? Yes, sir, we understand that. But right now we're sharing the same space. It cost us nothing to be neighborly. What bothered Admiral Thexvar most was how the humans addressed his crew by name. Somehow they had learned the names and specialties of individual Federation personnel. "Good morning, Technician Vextar," came Lieutenant Bei Hyunwoo's voice during the daily navigation briefing. "We noticed your ship's stellar navigation system is drifting by 0.02 degrees. This is common with older Trellin navigational arrays. We've sent specifications for a simple recalibration that should fix the problem." Technician Vextar, aboard the Federation cruiser Storm's Edge, found his name being spoken by an enemy who was trying to help him do his job better. The psychological impact spread through the Federation fleet like a virus. Crew members began looking forward to the human broadcasts. Engineers eagerly tested the technical improvements. Medical staff implemented the health recommendations. "Sir," reported Analyst Kex Dune during the daily briefing, "we have a problem." "Define problem," Admiral Thexvar said tiredly. "Our crews are beginning to respect the humans, sir. They're not thinking of them as enemies anymore. They're thinking of them as colleagues." Colleagues? Professional soldiers working in difficult conditions. The humans treat our people with the same courtesy they'd show their own fleet. Some of our crews are starting to ask why we're attacking people who are so helpful. Admiral Thexvar realized the humans were fighting a war he didn't understand. They weren't attacking Federation ships or threatening Federation crews. Instead, they were making themselves valuable to Federation operations. "Admiral," came Captain Kim's voice during their afternoon conversation, "I wanted to mention that Chief Petty Officer Park has developed a new protein synthesis pattern that might interest your logistics staff. It can provide proper nutrition for 8 different species using standard shipboard resources. Why would you share military logistics information with us?" "Because good food improves morale, Admiral, and properly fed crews make fewer mistakes. We're all safer when everyone operates at their best." The breakthrough in human psychological warfare came when young Ensign Ko Jimin began broadcasting entertainment programs. Every evening, she shared human music, stories, and cultural programs with the Federation fleet. "Tonight's program features traditional Korean music performed by the Seoul Philharmonic," she announced. "We thought you might enjoy hearing what Earth sounds like." The music was beautiful. Complex harmonies that none of the Federation species had heard before. Several crew members requested recordings to share with their families. "Ensign Ko," came a transmission from the Federation ship Voidwalker. "My daughter loves music. Could you send that recording to our home world?" "Of course," Ko replied cheerfully. "We're including transmission protocols that should work with your communication systems. Your daughter has excellent taste. This is one of our finest orchestras." Admiral Thexvar watched his fleet's morale reports with growing alarm. Federation crews were no longer angry or aggressive toward the humans. They were curious, friendly, and increasingly reluctant to fight. "Admiral," came Fleet Commander Zalneth's private communication, "we need to attack soon or not at all. The crews are beginning to question why we're threatening people who've done nothing but help us. The humans are manipulating our people." "Yes, sir, they are. But they're manipulating them by being kind, helpful, and generous. It's very effective manipulation." Captain Kim made his daily report to Earth Command. "Admiral Lee, psychological operations are proceeding successfully. Federation fleet cohesion is declining. Multiple ships have requested continued communication after this incident ends. Any signs they're preparing to attack?" Admiral Lee asked. "No, sir. Their weapons remain powered down." Admiral Thexvar appears to be reconsidering his options. "Good work, Captain. How many ships do we have now?" Kim checked his latest production reports. 89 ships operational, sir. Production rate is accelerating as more assembly lines come online." "And the Federation response?" "They're counting our ships every hour, sir. I think they're beginning to understand that this isn't a military problem they can solve with traditional tactics." That evening, Admiral Thexvar called his senior staff to an emergency meeting. "The humans have turned our crews against us without firing a shot. How do we fight an enemy that defeats us by being helpful?" Nobody had an answer. "Sir," suggested Analyst Kexdun carefully, "perhaps the question isn't how to fight them. Perhaps the question is why we're fighting them at all." Admiral Thexvar stared at his tactical displays showing 89 human ships arranged around their mysterious factory. For 847 conquests, the Federation had faced enemies who fought with weapons, fear, and anger. The humans fought with kindness, competence, and an industrial capacity that grew stronger every day. For the first time in his career, Admiral Thexvar wondered if the Federation had chosen the wrong enemy. Fleet Commander Zalnith had reached his breaking point. For 6 days, he had watched the human fleet grow from 18 ships to 127 ships, while his own crews became increasingly friendly with the enemy. Something had to be done. "Admiral Thexvar," he said during the morning briefing, "I request permission for a probe attack." "Explain." "Sir, we need to test human capabilities. Send 12 ships in a limited engagement. Learn their tactics, find their weaknesses, withdraw with minimal losses." Admiral Thexvar considered this. The humans have avoided fighting so far. They might not respond to a small probe, or they might reveal their true capabilities. Either way, we learn something useful. Approved. Select your ships and proceed. Within an hour, 12 Federation vessels broke formation and began moving toward the human factory complex. Aboard the lead ship, Commander Nexlar briefed his captains on their mission. "This is a probe only. Test their defenses. Learn their capabilities, withdraw when we have sufficient data. Try not to cause unnecessary casualties." Aboard the Indomitable, sensors detected the Federation movement immediately. Captain Kim called his senior staff to the bridge. "Well," he said calmly, "it looks like someone finally decided to test us." "Orders, sir?" asked Weapons Officer Commander Nam Unji. "Standard protocol. Disable, don't destroy. Board and assist, don't capture. Remember, these are professional soldiers doing their jobs." The human response puzzled every Federation tactical computer. Instead of forming defensive lines or preparing for battle, human ships spread out in seemingly random patterns. No traditional formations, no obvious strategies. "Human vessels are not responding to standard tactical doctrine," reported Commander Nexlar to Admiral Thexvar. "They appear to be confused." They weren't confused. They were preparing for something the Federation had never seen before. As the 12 Federation ships approached weapons range, the humans finally moved. But instead of attacking, they began broadcasting. "Federation ships, this is Captain Kim Hajun. We detect your approach and assume you wish to test our capabilities. We're happy to demonstrate." "What kind of demonstration?" Commander Nexlar asked. "The kind that ends with everyone going home safely." What happened next redefined space combat for the Federation. The human ships didn't fire weapons. Instead, they began broadcasting focused electromagnetic pulses with surgical precision. Each Federation ship found its communication systems, weapon systems, and navigation systems shutting down one by one. "Sir," called the weapons officer aboard Commander Nexlar's ship, "our systems are failing, but there's no damage. It's like they're just turning us off." Within 10 minutes, all 12 Federation ships floated helplessly while maintaining full life support and structural integrity. "Federation vessels," came Captain Kim's voice. "We've temporarily disabled your military systems. Your crews are safe and will restore functionality shortly. Please prepare for boarding." "Boarding?" Commander Nexlar couldn't understand. "Are they taking prisoners?" They weren't. Human boarding craft approached the disabled Federation ships with careful precision. Marines led by Sergeant Major An Young-ho carried medical supplies, engineering tools, and what appeared to be gift baskets. "Federation crew members," An announced as his team boarded the first ship. "We're here to help. Please remain at your stations while we work." What followed was the strangest military operation in galactic history. Instead of taking prisoners or seizing equipment, the human Marines began repairing Federation ship systems. Dr. Song Aryam's medical teams treated injured crew members' injuries caused by system failures during the pulse attack. "Your navigator hurt his hand when the console shut down," Dr. Song explained to Commander Nexlar. "Just a minor cut, but we've treated it and updated your medical supplies." Engineer teams led by Chief Ryu Taeyong improved Federation systems while explaining how they worked. "Your power grid was running at 73% efficiency," Ryu told the chief engineer of the Storm's Edge. "We've optimized the plasma flow and updated your diagnostic software. Should improve performance by about 23%. The psychological impact was immediate and devastating. Federation crews watched human enemies repair their ships, treat their wounded, and offer technical improvements. "They're not capturing us," whispered Technician Vextar to his supervisor. "They're helping us." The most disturbing part came when the humans began sharing personal information. Corporal Lee Yuna, while upgrading a communication system, mentioned that her brother served on a human mining station. "He's about your age," she told young Federation Ensign Pelvor. "Works in asteroid processing. Says it's boring but honest work. What did you do before joining the fleet?" Conversations began breaking out between human Marines and Federation crew members. Professional soldiers talking about home, family, and the difficulties of military service. "This is psychological warfare," Commander Nexlar told his staff quietly. "Is it working?" asked his weapons officer. "Look around. Our crews are having friendly conversations with people who just disabled our ships." After 6 hours, the human Marines began withdrawing, but they left behind more than improved systems. "Here's a data packet with the technical specifications for all improvements we made," Chief Petty Officer Park Ji-hoon told each Federation ship. "Also, we've included some cultural programs our people enjoy. Music, stories, recreational material for long voyages." "Why are you giving us this?" Commander Nexler asked. "Because we'll probably be neighbors for a while. Might as well be friendly neighbors." As human forces withdrew, they reactivated all Federation systems. The 12 ships found themselves fully operational and significantly improved. "Federation vessels," came Captain Kim's voice. "We're returning you to your fleet. Please take our regards to Admiral Thexvar." "That's it?" Commander Nexler asked. "You're just letting us go?" "Commander, we're not at war with you personally. You're soldiers following orders. We have no quarrel with soldiers doing their jobs." The 12 Federation ships returned to their fleet carrying something more dangerous than any weapon. "Doubt. Report," Admiral Thexvar demanded when Commander Nexler reached the flagship. "Sir, the humans have capabilities we don't understand. They disabled our ships without causing permanent damage, then repaired them better than new." "Casualties?" "None, sir. They treated our wounded and sent medical supplies for future use." Admiral Thexvar reviewed the tactical recordings with growing confusion. "They captured your ships, then gave them back?" "Yes, sir. With improvements." "What kind of improvements?" Commander Nexler submitted his technical report. "Power efficiency up 23% across all ships. Communication systems upgraded with better signal processing. Navigation computers updated with more accurate stellar charts. Medical facilities restocked with advanced supplies." "They improved our ships?" "Sir, they improved our ships and explained how they did it so we can maintain the improvements ourselves." Admiral Thexvar realized he faced something unprecedented. The humans had demonstrated complete military superiority, while simultaneously proving they meant no harm to Federation personnel. "Sir," added Commander Nexlar quietly, "the humans asked me to give you a personal message." "What message?" "Captain Kim said that Earth extends friendship to all peaceful civilizations and hopes the Federation will be the first of many such relationships." Admiral Thexvar stared at his tactical display. The human fleet now numbered 143 ships, with more appearing every few hours. Each ship represented capabilities his forces couldn't match. But more importantly, the humans had just demonstrated something that terrified every Federation commander. They could defeat Federation ships without killing Federation crews. "Sir," came Analyst Kexdun's voice over the intercom, "we're receiving communications from multiple Federation ships. They're requesting permission to establish formal contact with human representatives. Our own crews want to negotiate with the enemy." "Sir, I don't think our crews consider them enemies anymore." Admiral Thexvar looked out at the growing human fleet and realized that the Federation had lost this war before it began. Not through military defeat, but through something much more powerful: human decency. "Get me a direct line to Earth Command," he ordered. "It's time to talk."